Audrey and Jeremy Roloff. They've been married for 6 minutes and they've written 3 books on how to have a marriage that will last forever. Knowing how much they know about marriage, you would assume they know all things about parenting. Except Audrey's getting slammed for putting her son in danger. Find out why next. Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, January 19th. I'm so glad to have you here. I am here to talk with you about Audrey and Jeremy Roloff. Okay, it's been a hot minute since we've talked about these fabulous fundies. These two are in a world of their own, classified, categorized, and in a world of complete and utter denial, mixed with a little bit of conspiracy theory and a tad of racism. Yes, that's right. Jeremy Roloff's Twitter is a hot mess express filled with things that I didn't want to ever have to see. But his wife, Audrey, is probably Reddit's least favorite fundie, and that's putting it mildly. Now, Audrey is opinionated, nothing wrong with that. Audrey is open, nothing wrong with that. And Audrey is never wrong. Now, some people think that Audrey's a snot, snooty, bratty, and some people just don't really like her because they find her insufferable because they believe that she just sort of ignores all common sense and logic and is living in a bubble in a world of she knows everything and everyone has to learn from her. So Audrey and Jeremy have a podcast. They also have written 3 marriage books. 3 marriage books. You guys, how many books do you need to read on marriage? I'll tell you one thing. I've read 0 and my marriage is doing great. Yay! Now, other things that we should talk about is that Audrey also kind of on the fringe in the family. Jeremy and Audrey in the Roloffs have kind of siphoned off into their own little world. They're in this little pocket of extremists, let's just say. They're involved with this guy named Dale Partridge, who is by far one of the most disgusting fundamentalists I've ever seen. He literally hates women and he talks about women so degrading, and he also believes that he's super smart and he's not, and I just really cannot stand Dale. They're also mentored by a guy named Matt Jacobson, who is one of these guys that pretends like he knows everything. He's a pastor, he has a home church, he also writes a book and has a podcast. All of these people have the same script, and Ginger and Jeremy Volo are following right with them. But Matt Jacobson is also, again, completely misogynistic and also believes women and men are 2 completely separate types of people, that women should just stay home, be submissive, give it up as much as possible, and not talk back. He also has a propensity, according to a video that was uploaded by Brenda from God is Gray, that his daughter came out and said that Matt and his wife are really into training up the child, and that there was a lot of ABUSC going on in the house. And then shortly after all that came out, shortly after all of this happens, Audrey was on her Instagram sharing a photo of her blanket training. So lots of questions here about blanket training and about their questionable beliefs. And now Audrey is getting slammed because she decided to go skiing with her son in a baby carrier. Baby wearing is all the rage in the natural world. Some moms just want to wear their babies no matter what. And listen, having your baby close to you is great. It's easy when you're around the house. You can just put the baby in a sling or in a wrap or in a backpack, and you can carry them on your chest or on your back. Now, when I had my son, I wanted to do all of these things. Of course, it did not work. He was a preemie when he was born, and then by the time he grew up, he just was not having it. He hated being in anything other than my arms. So for those of you that baby wear, hats off to you. Now, some moms that baby wear take it to the extreme, and that's what Audrey Roloff did according to Reddit. So yesterday, she posted some stories on her Instagram. Check it out. So she was teaching her daughter, how to ski with her husband, Jeremy. Now, that's fine because her daughter is like 2 or 3 years old. Totally normal, and most kids can start skiing young. But then at one point during all of this, Audrey decides that she's gonna hike up the bunny hill with her skis in tow, with her son on her stomach in a backpack, and ski down the hill with him. Now, obviously, this did not go over well on Reddit. So she admitted in her video that she had to go up the hill and walk up the hill because they would not allow her on the ski lift with her son in tow. So she couldn't go on the ski lift with Bodhi. So instead, she walked up the hill with her skis and him so she could ski down the hill even though it wasn't allowed. So smart. Then she started getting flack on Reddit and said this.
I just want to give you guys a little bit of context from my Instagram stories of me skiing with Bodhi. So first of all, I've been skiing since I was 3 years old, and I'm legit more confident in my skiing abilities than I am like walking around because I'm kind of clumsy. But when it comes to skiing, I've been doing it my whole life, like November to May, all growing up. My family is a huge skiing family. We all competitively ski raced. So just giving you that context, like don't just think I'm some noob on skis up there like with a baby in a front pack skiing. Like I have been skiing my whole life. Okay. Second, I hiked halfway up the very flat bunny slope, basically just to be able to say like Bodhi skied when he was 1. So again, like this is not dangerous. I wouldn't do anything to put my kids at risk. And I just wanted to give you guys that context. Also, so you have that context for watching the stories of me skiing with Ember, just so you know, like, I know what I'm doing. That sounds really silly to say, but like I'm super confident on skis. So there's that.
So she justifies it that she's a really good skier, and so don't worry. Don't worry about any of this. She knows what she's doing, and she's really, really smart. I get it. We all think that we are great parents, and I am not here to parent shame. I'll just tell you what Reddit said. So one Redditor said, so if I get pulled over for driving with my baby on my lap, I'm sure the officer will be fine with it because, oh my God, I've been driving for a long time and I'm so good at it. And then another one responded, make sure you add that you just want to be able to say your baby was behind the wheel of a car at 1 and you're golden. Now she did brag that she just wanted to say that Bodhi went skiing when he was 1 year old. Why? So she could win brownie points at the next mom event. Like, I'm so much better than you because my kid went skiing when he was 1. Another person said, I'm also a good skier. My dad was Olympic trials good. Dad had us in ski appropriate clothing and helmets from the minute he had us on the slopes as toddlers. And my dad never would have done this. And if he saw me doing this with my kid, he would give me hell. And someone replied to them, same here. I started skiing at age 2 and I'm very comfortable on skis, but I'd never do this. My parents would be livid if they saw me do this too. Even the most experienced skier can catch an edge and get taken out by someone else who is out of control. And then another person said, because no one who is an expert or pro at something, not that she's anywhere near expert, has ever had an accident doing the things they're so good at. Like NASCAR drivers can still get in a car accident, Olympic swimmers can still drown, and recreational snow bunny can still get hurt your children in a ski accident. And the one person responded, the fact that she recognizes that she's clumsy and could trip while wearing him, but I'm pretty sure she spent more time practicing walking than skiing. So obviously Reddit is Reddit. And sometimes, as we've seen over the last several days, they can get a little bit snarky and mean. Here's my thoughts. If a ski resort is telling you that you cannot bring your baby up on the ski lift, if a ski resort is saying it's not safe, your baby is not allowed on the hill, and you take your baby on the hill anywhere, you are not only putting yourself in considerable liability, but you're also putting the ski resort in a considerably dangerous legal space. You have broken a rule at the ski resort in order to keep your child safe, and you're putting them in a position of liability. So not only is it selfish for yourself and dangerous for your child, but you're also putting the resort in a terrible situation by breaking their rules. The resorts place these rules specifically to keep you safe and free from accidents, and children in carriers without helmets, knowing how unpredictable skis can be, it's just not a good idea. And if you willingly are breaking the rules and then so arrogantly are like, well, I grew up on skis, so I'm such a good skier, and that's your excuse, it actually just looks like you are, again, defying odds, don't care, doesn't matter, aren't going to listen, and until your child has a serious accident, you won't learn. We've known that a lot of the fundies have this idea of the kids need to be daredevils, they need to not have rules, they're going to push their kids to a limit, and we also know that Instagram pushes parents to brag. It's clear, in my opinion, that Jeremy and Audrey just like to brag. They like to brag about their marriage. They like to brag about their kids. And Audrey wanted to brag that her kid was on the slopes. And her bragging that her kid skied when she was 1 because her son won't remember and it won't matter was more important to her than the safety of her child. Thankfully, nothing happened in this case, but I do agree with a lot of the Redditors here. Don't break the rules. I'm a rules follower, and in this case, I'd say it's your bad, Audrey. Nobody would talk about you if you just wouldn't do things like this. All right, so tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Bye, guys.